Hmm. Spirit Army. Let us pause a moment and consider our next course of action. I do not think we should simply rush into this blindly. Any advice on how to deal with Oku and the Spirit Army? Yes, the army. You see, I have suspicions on why he brought them with him to Mulsandir. My belief is he needs them to fuel his strength. He might be a bit invincible until his army is dealt with. Invincible? A rather mild way of putting it, yes. But his army, they are spirit allies upon which he can feed, from which he can gather strength. So I should tackle them first. There's a lot of them. The sheer number is the thorn in the issue, yes. We will need to not only deal with them but balance our efforts so we conserve our power for when Oku is weakened. A delicate juggling act, to be sure. But the fact remains, we must challenge his allies, defeat them, and when Oku's power starts to ebb, only then do we strike. How will I know when that is? I'll warn you when it's time to attack Oku, but if I fall, you'll have to use your best judgment, as tenuous as that is. Listen for me to call out over the field of battle, and if you cannot hear me then, well, may the spirits guide you in your efforts, for I will be unable to. So, Oku. Elder Earth Elementals, Teltar Wolves, Warriors, Triads. It's a mix of things, yes.
Christu, Clarmachon.
Puff away, my good man.
Dear John Queen.
Time to finish this.
Okay, I think we're not good enough of a position. Let's go meet them. I don't think these buffs make much of a difference, but
So you are brave after all. Wood and stone would not have kept us from you. But it is good that the innocent are spared my army's rage. This can be ended quickly if you like. Present your neck. It will fit snugly between my teeth, and we all can return to our dreams.
Tell me something first. What have I done to offend you?
It is not what you did, but what you are, little one. Can't you smell it? The foulness of you drives all these spirits mad. You do not know what you are, not yet. If you did, you might ask me to kill you. Better that you never learn. Now we have spoken enough. I will live in a world that is free of you, or I will die and dream no more.
Die then, you and all your wailing beasts. So focusing on him is a waste of time, really. I'm concerned about the dryads. They should be spellcasters. What are our options? At least I'm buying a little bit of time, if nothing else. Please do something. I guess I took so much 2-point damage that I just died. I knew my defenses were failing, but just went from pretty much full life to instant death, so not much I could do. Your wounds could be healed, fair god. Why are you in such a hurry to die?
Not for my sake, little one. For yours. Kill me fast before...
What?
This is the same as what happened in the barrow, when you consumed the spirit wolf.
What is that? It felt like a backlash, a whip across my mind.
Stop this attack. Whatever you're doing, you're feeding on his spirit, siphoning it.
The presence inside you. It wakes.
What is this?
Emptiness. Hunger. Forgive me. I tried to stop you.
So, resist the hunger and try to force it back, or give in to the hunger and devour Oku's soul. Hmm. Devour Oku's soul.
Whatever that power, I felt its hunger, both for Oku's spirit and its hunger for others. Whatever you have unleashed, it is unnatural. Some sort of vampirism I have never felt before.
Something has changed in you. Like a beast awoken from a long sleep. Whatever it is you unleashed, it could not resist devouring Oku's spirit in its weakened state. Old King Bear must have been something worthy of its appetite. I did not realize you were cursed in such a fashion. Something of the bear has been left behind. An empty husk, drained of spirit.
Spirit Husk. His husk is all that remained of Oku after you devoured his spirit. It appears to be the shedded skin of the bear god, but it still emanates great spiritual energy. You sense the husk could be utilized for something again. Like a spirit meter now. Spirit energy. State, yeah, this it drops downward. I think the lower bar is hunger level. Anyway. Stage 1, -1 to all abilities, 5% vulnerability to piercing, bludgeoning and slashing damage. Stage 2, -2 to all abilities, 2% of total hit points, plus 1d4 damage every 10 rounds, 10% damage vulnerability to piercing, bludgeoning and slashing damage. Stage 3, -4 to all abilities, 5% of maximum hit points plus 1d6 damage every 10 rounds, 25% damage vulnerability to piercing, bludgeoning and slashing damage. 4, -6 to all abilities, more damage, 50% vulnerability to this 5, plus -10 to all abilities, you lose 5% of max hit points. What is this? Does it go down? 90% damage vulnerability to piercing and slashing. Stage 6, dead. So the spirit energy runs out at any point. I'm dead. It's an interesting mechanic. Some people hate it. It's because it's basically a timer. It runs down constantly. It also means sleeping for 8 hours has its downsides. Yeah, now, okay, now I understand what the lower bar is. It's off, yeah, it's craving. So it determines how fast the spirit energy is draining. It's not that much now, it's a little bit. Here it is a massive drain. Oku's essence. This essence was obtained from Oku, a powerful bear spirit. It doesn't say what I can do with it. I don't particularly care like the taste, but usually it's use it on an armor or use it on a weapon. That's usually the basic choice you have. Maybe on a magical item, like a necklace or something. I don't know the recipes exactly. But that's... ooh, it might be that we only need the essence. We might not be yet able to do anything with it. That's also another possibility. I want to see if there's anything new here. Up here. I think I understand the spirit energy mechanic quite well.
Time to
I
finish
don't
this.
recall all the details, but I think I have a fairly solid grasp of it.
Utus Christu Clamation.
I don't want to explain it, because it ties to the plot and some choices you make. I'll say it, that if you want to basically, if you hate it, you have a way to basically shut down the craving almost entirely. Doesn't mean that you won't lose spirit energy constantly, but it means it's reduced to such an extent that it basically doesn't matter at all anymore. So if that's how you want to do it, that's a possibility. In some ways, especially with certain classes and alignment options, it makes a lot of sense, because there's a natural flow that follows that natural set of choices that lead to that. I don't particularly necessarily want to go there. I haven't decided fully where I want to go with it, because I more or less want to go where the character goes. If it leads somewhere, it leads somewhere, and that's fine with me. Good or bad, it's just fine. Ooh, you don't have tumble. Gotta have tumble. Wait. No. No. I need to. I don't
Yes?
recall what anyone needs, and that's the big part. We need certain type of spells, certain type of feats. Desperately need them to make solid characters. So I need to check things up, especially Gan and the half celestial. I don't recall what they happen to mean. We have like 4 spells on this level. Ugh, you need more. I'm trying to at least have 1 decent attack spell on each. Okay, you're a wizard. You don't need more. You just need more of the same. Maybe another persistent haste. I don't know. The poor selection of spells earlier on is the reason why we have a bit of a hard time selecting anything good now. Veil Banshee is a wonderful spell, but does shit to undead. I have Sunburst, but this will also screw over my own guys. Make them. The biggest problem is that I'm going to be blinded. This isn't worth it. You have no strength. You have weapon finesse. You do not have weapon finesse. You must have weapon finesse. We can both get new spells and switch spells around. Take Premonition. You create a cloud that paralyzes any creature inside of it, encasing them with stone in 1d6 rounds. What exactly am I looking for? I'm looking to switch a spell around. Flame Weapon is a good spell. Summon creature 2 probably isn't gonna matter all that much, let alone summon creature 1. Okay, can we get anything extra? I think 6, 7, and 8, and 9. Drown. You create water in the lungs of a target creature. Any drowned creature takes 90% of its current hit points of bludgeoning damage. Golems and non-living creatures cannot be drowned. Crumble. 1d6 points of sonic damage per caster level to selected construct. Or whatever. True Seeing. Sleeping Doom. True Seeing is a good spell. 3 9th level spell. Or Mass Death War. Ooh, Mass Drown. Elemental Swarm. You summon 24 hit dice air elemental to act as your loyal servant until it dies, or until the spell expires. The air elemental dies before the spell ends. A 20 hit die water elemental is automatically summoned to replace it. This process continues with an earth and fire elemental until the spell expires. After the fire elemental, no more are summoned. It's a decent spell though. Nature's Avatar. Affected animal gains plus 10 moral bonus. Yeah, don't really have animals. Psalm of Vengeance. Or whatever. Gotta take something. Although Mass Death Ward is very good. This way I wouldn't have to have all these death preventing uh, abilities constantly or equipment on everyone. We have Mass Death Ward on the priest too, but it wouldn't hurt to have it on another.
I'll take the lead.
More crafting. Bluffing is starting to require more points than I'm willing to spend. I'm not sure if the crafting is all that useful anyway, but we'll see. I should try to improve the bluff. 2 spells. Anything interesting? Really running out of interesting things. So greater spell breach. I suppose lesser spell mantle. It gives us options. That's it. If we want a spell mantle spell, it doesn't really matter what type of it is. The higher level, the better. But even the shittiest one is still going to probably be enough. Same with the breach spells. We just need a breach spell. It doesn't have to be some specific breach spell. So the more of them we have, better. And we're not gonna get new memorized spells anymore. At least not through level ups. So, is there any real point in continuing to level up Wizard instead of Eldritch Knight? We'll get bonus feats here and there, but doesn't particularly matter, I suppose. Spirit Eater, just like the tales. She's cursed. Cursed indeed. Not exactly a long chapter 1. And I suppose a bit spoilerish. Oku was one of our potential companions, but because we chose to eat him, uh, actually he's not exactly going to be a companion now, is it? We need to talk to the witches first.
Like in song.
Spirit energy dropped down to 98. So, I suppose this is we can't waste time even on just wandering about and talking to people anymore. We'll constantly have to keep the pulse on. I think there might have been a patch at one point where the spirit energy meter stops going down during conversations. There was another fantastical bug when you played this game the first time. There was a design that, I mean, there's different areas that you can travel to, and I think there was a design that you can't possibly die during the travels. Spirit energy can't go to zero and kill you. And there's quite a few ways to restore it enough that you can travel. But there was one place that a lot of people reported. I think it happened to me too. That I went from 100 spirit energy at the start of the travel, went there, and I died immediately on arrival. It's not like it wasn't actually a bug that killed you. It's everything worked as it's intended. There's just someone didn't account for a little thing. There's when you enter certain areas, the designer of that area wanted to have a certain type of a event or a feel to it when you entered. So it basically removed the clock to a certain time of day. So if you were unlucky and arrived in the area shortly after that, it almost basically just waited for a full day, and that was enough to kill you if you had a huge level of craving or low level of spirit energy. A lot of things like that, but they fix those pretty quickly. Abomination! I warned you, Shiva. I smelled the wrongness upon her at the theater. Tell the truth, foreigner. Did you know what you were when you came to our city? No, and I still don't. You are a spirit eater, an abomination, an affront to the spirits and the gods. You are a monster out of ancient tales. Not every spirit eater has been a monster, Kazimika. Not at the beginning. At least tell me what a spirit eater is. We know little of them. No spirit eater has walked Rashomon in living memory. They were monsters, devourers of spirits and souls, boogeymen in children's tales. Some were men, some women, some were even children. Wherever they walked they hungered and fed, and the land died. No matter their intentions, all spirit eaters ended the same. Their hunger turned in upon themselves, and they were destroyed, utterly consumed. How did, how did I become a spirit eater? Was it something that happened in the burrow? Perhaps you can answer that question best, monster. Did you anger our god? Defile our land? Few punishments are truly undeserved. Hush, Kazimika. Some say that the curse passed from one spirit eater to the next, but no spirit eater has been seen in over 100 years. Beyond that, we know little. Those who kept such secrets are many years dead. The hunger within me, can it be controlled? Perhaps. If children's stories are to be believed, your hunger can be directed. But it will grow if indulged, and it will finally overwhelm you. Okay, yeah, the spirit eater bar has gone gray. So yeah, it's probably paused. And if you resist it, the hunger will destroy you anyway. You will starve, and your own hunger will turn upon you, consuming you from within. I've faced worse odds, probably, and I'm still very much alive. If there is any hope to be found, it would be amongst those who have fought your kind, among spirits, not mortals. My sister speaks of the Woodman, the living soul of the Ashenwood. He fought your kind, and he brought them all low. If the Woodman fought spirit eaters, why would he agree to help me? It is for you to convince him of that, if you can find him at all. The Ashenwood is several days sailing upriver to the north, and the winter snows have already begun to fall. You will need a boat. Find the shipwright Basil at the docks, and tell him of our need. We have an outpost on the Ashenwood shore, led by a witch called Dalenka. She is a hard-bitten woman and distrustful of foreigners. What about the dwarf woman Magda? You promised I could speak to her once I made my peace with Oku. You will find Magda at the Vale. We have released her from our protection, but we will hear if she is harmed. Find the Woodman, Spirit Eater. If any creature knows the secrets of your kind, it is he. Yes. Hmm. Hmm. So we have an extra place to go after. Currently we have the entire Mole Sand here and the Shadow areas to explore. I think there are also other areas that will open up during time as things develop. So need to keep our eyes open. Magda first. That's where this all started. Woman we came here to meet who had all the answers. Magda must have at least some answers. Shemi home. Okay, yeah, there's new places have immediately opened up. I don't think they're critical plot-wise. Pipe down, you rogues, and give some thanks to the woman who saved our lives. Alas, our thanks are all we have to give, for a cruel-hearted dwarf hoards our meager profits. Aye, and squanders our earnings on love potions to steal the heart of sweet Wallace. Honestly, milady, it's like chasing a pack of dockside waves with a broomstick. And that's when we're not trying to put on a play. I've come about Liena. I think she may have known something about my condition. I thought it might be that. There's not one of us who didn't love that woman, but she'd been acting strange, it's true. And the blood, Magda, those ghastly droplets of red upon her white robe. I'd nearly forgotten about the blood. Perhaps you'd better tell me. No more than a few days before you saved our hides, milady, Liena comes bursting from the shadow door of hers, all covered in blood. Covered in blood, aye, and not a drop of it hers. And before that I saw the other woman hanging about, the red-robed lady, bold as a squalling babe. The both of them were up to some sort of mischief. That's all the red lady was good for, if you ask me. Probably behind the doors of that secret room. Red-robed lady. What else do you know about her? Only that what my eyes have seen. Her face was like Liena so much that I thought them sisters, and her head was all covered with runes. I wonder if she was from my academy. This might explain how Liena was known to my mother. I saw her but twice, no, make it thrice. The first time was years ago. I woke two voices in Liena's bedroom, so I peered inside thinking it might be Robert Skin. But instead, who do I see but a red-robed lady, chatting away with Liena. I'm certain they knew I was watching. Scared me silly, you understand. Red robes mean naught but trouble, but Liena trusted her, so I let the matter pass. I saw her a second time, perhaps a year ago, before the two of them disappeared for a long time. The third time? That was just before the wizards came. I saw the red lady near the portal, when Liena came bursting out of her room, all covered in blood. This secret room, how would I get inside? All you'd need is the key, and I have it right here. When the wizards came, Liena pressed it into my hand and told me to keep it safe. I'd have a mind to swallow the key and make those wizards go picking through my innards for it. Here's the key. But I'll not vouch for your safety. If you're bent on going inside, I've never so much as peeked beneath the door. Our Magda has answers, no doubt, so much wind in so small a bag. It's a wonder she doesn't burst. Hush, you rogue. Ignore them, milady, and perhaps they'll go away. I've been trying for a decade. When I saved you from the Thayans, did Liena really know I'd be coming? So she said. So she said, "A woman will be coming looking for me. You're not to turn her away, Magda, even if she's angry, even if you fear for my life." But I couldn't tell you how she knew, milady. Our white lady was generous with everything except for secrets. Can you tell me anything more about her? I could tell you how her eyes looked old, how she never quite remembered to brush her hair, and how stories of doomed love would never fail to bring her to tears. Lena had a hardness in her, it's true, a metal that wasn't born of Rashomon or any decent land. She'd suffered in her time, but this theater softened her as years went by. You sell any hats or masks? We've no shortage of such things, though most of it is rubbish. Stuffed under mattresses, piled in trunks. Here, have a look and pardon the dust. Chimes of opening. I'll take that. Boots of reflexes, cloak of elvenkind, Finch's finest hats. Charisma, dexterity, bluff, diplomacy, form, sleight of hand. Nymph's cloaks +6, a tragedian. 80,000. Diplomacy 8, intimidate 10, taunt 10, crushing despair 5 uses per day. We want to play the diplomacy character. This is fantastical crap for you. Can't sell certain type of essences. Where do we... Okay, we got the spirit essence when we used the spirit eater ability. This is the point also with the spirit meter, that we can't just rest for the fun of it. It's not like we're gonna die if we rest, but it's still going to be a decent chunk of spirit energy lost, so we'll have to make the rests count. Especially in situations where we don't have a new source of spirit energy anywhere nearby. So we need to learn more about this ability.
Time to finish this. Dear John Queen again. Dear John Queen again.
First door, incoming visitors. This room is a nexus of portals, although their energies seem to flow through the golem there. Interesting. I was not aware of this place, but Someone has taken great pains to build this secret passageway amongst the planes. Be careful. At times, portals can be used for disposing of unwanted visitors, and I sense some of these portals have been purposely sealed. So, incoming visitors, containment, disposal, well, we probably don't want to go there, outgoing, probably not there either, keeper of doors. Seems like incoming visitors and containment are the interesting parts. Wisdom of Imithiyabag. Greater planar binding.
Come this way. LMA for Grain. I'll take the lead.
I think I want to talk with our companions soon too.
Yes.
Never know what we'll get from that.
I'm ready if
At
you
least
need.
we'll get to know them better if nothing else. Quarter stamp, some money. Remembrance. Grey rope of the Archway. Summon creature 8. Nothing particularly useful. Well, I suppose it's worth some cash. It takes about a second, let's say 2-3 seconds before the spirit energy bar turns grey here. This golem has broad distorted features coupled from clay. It stands silent, making neither sound nor movement. Sophia, can you offer any insight on this creature? The animating spirit in this creature is all but depleted. You could probably use your unique abilities to breathe life into it. Otherwise, you could reach in and extract the golem's spirit core. If you replenish the core and replace it, the golem should operate like new. Replenish the core and replace it, the golem should operate like new. That's probably the best thing to do. I don't want to give up my spirit energy, and 2, it still sounds like a best option because replenishing some of its spirit energy is no guarantee that it will be functioning like new. It might just be giving it a little bit of gas to go on for a while. Can you speak? The golem gives no indication that it has heard you. Continues to stand perfectly still, its eyes blank and apparently sightless. Reach out your hand and touch the golem. As your fingers brush the clay, you find it to be dry, crumbling at your touch, as if the creature is very, very old. The presence inside you shifts faintly, and you sense that a spirit still resides inside the golem, but the spirit is feeble and depleted. You feel that you may be able to channel some of your spirit energy into the golem, enough to bring it back to life for a short time, but such an effort would leave you somewhat weaker and more vulnerable to the hunger inside of you. Drive your hand into the crumbling clay and see what lies inside. Making a fist, you plunge your hand into the dry, yielding clay of the golem's gut. You push your hand deeper to your wrist and then your elbow. At once, your fingers brush a small round object. Grabbing hold of it, you draw your hand. The object is withered and black, like a tiny, desiccated heart. That's the spirit core you're holding, a wizard's tool for harnessing the motive forces of a spirit. With a lively spirit in it, that spirit core could bring life to the golem. You sense that you could use your power within you to join the golem spirit core with a new spirit essence. If you then place the spirit core back inside the golem, it might reanimate permanently. Yeah, so it certainly sounds like a much better option than just giving it life for a short time. Molding the core with a brilliant spirit essence should regenerate it. I think we have one. How do we mold these? If you join the blackened spirit core with a brilliant spirit essence, you may be able to restore it to life and permanently reanimate the golem. To accommodate this, you need to use your mold spirit ability. What the fuck is that? Devour spirit, suppress, satiate, mold spirit, okay. What the hell, when did I get these? Okay. Devour. There is a certain number of uses per day. Mold. Provoke. Satiate. Spirit Eater. Suppress. Yeah, you can devour 10 spirits per rest cycle, satiate once, press once. Let's take a closer look at what exactly are we talking about. Spirit Eater. You have lost control of the hunger for spirits that has recently manifested inside of you. Your body now requires a periodic influx of energy obtained through the consumption of spirits, or it will eventually wither and will eventually wither and die. The vertical green bar represents your present level of spirit energy. It will drop over time, except during conversation, and as it falls, you will weaken at an accelerated rate. Each of the watermarks on the bar denotes a point at which your curse worsens to a new stage of debilitation. There are 6 stages of this affliction, the final of which is death. You may mouse over. Several new abilities are available to you that will provide a means to replenish your spirit energy. They are available on the Feats tab under History. The horizontal bar below the spirit energy bar is a measurement of your craving for spirits. The more you crave spirits, the faster your spirit energy is used up. Giving in to your urge to devour spirits more than once per day will tend to make you crave them more, while actively fighting to gain control over your hunger through the suppress ability will ease the craving. Use extreme caution when deciding whether to devour spirits if you have already done so once that day. What may seem like a safe move to keep your health high could quite quickly lead you down a slippery slope where you are in constant need of spirits to devour just to stay alive. Further details about the Spirit Eater abilities are available in their feed descriptions. At this point, thinking about this, it seems quite sensible to try to suppress it as much as possible. Eat only when absolutely necessary. However, there are positives to feeding spirits. New abilities you can use, so it's also a source to power. So it's not quite so simple. Satiate. This is the when the things have been totally fucked and you need to get spirit energy somehow. This ability causes you to lose experience points and should only be used in emergency situations when death is imminent and there is no other immediate way to gain spirit energy. You allow your hunger to feed upon your own consciousness and experience, fully restoring your spirit energy. This will cost you the total amount of experience points gained at your current level, to a maximum of 25% of your experience points bar. It can be used once per day and may only be used while in stage 4 or worse of the Spirit Eater affliction. Using this ability with less than 25% of your XP bar filled will cause you to temporarily incur a negative level penalty. But it's pretty much a get out of jail free card. It's there to avoid death. I suppose certain character styles could also use it. I mean, certain type of characters will simply refuse to devour other spirits in order to even stay alive. It's simply against their code. So their option would be to basically resist feeding at every opportunity and just sacrifice themselves in order to maintain themselves long enough to be able to somehow either get rid of the hunger or get rid of the curse. And it's fully supported, so it's actually one of the more interesting ways to play this storyline in my opinion. I think there's basically three paths. The one where you refuse to eat, the one where you devour as much as possible, and then I suppose the widest range of things where you sort of try to keep things under control, but you also take advantage of some of the abilities. You sort of manage it, but avoid both the extremes. That's probably the most sensible, but also the likeliest that we're going to travel through this. But at the same time, it's probably the least interesting. I'm not saying it's bad, I'm just saying the other two are probably better. Provoke spirits. I think this is used to, if you have neutral opponents, you can basically try to force a fight so you can use your feeding abilities on them. You expose your true nature to the spirits in the surrounding area, agitating them to the point of hostility toward you. Once provoked, these spirits become valid targets to be devoured, effective range up to 10 meters. Yep. So this is just to bypass a game mechanic that would make them invulnerable to your abilities. Power. You lash out and drain the existence of a single spirit, either Fey or Elemental, reducing their current hit point by 25% of their maximum, and replenish your spirit energy by 10%. This is not how anyone wants to use this. You want to kill a target with this, that's where this is good. If the target is near death, the attack kills it, and yeah, I think near death means they're below 25% maximum health. The attack kills it, and the spirit energy bar is replenished by a bonus amount equal to the percentage of hit point remaining on the target immediately prior to its spirit being devoured. And you receive a spirit essence. That's the important part. If Devour Spirit is used more than one time a day, each successive use after the first causes a substantial increase in craving, a consequence of giving free rein to your hunger. Devour Spirit may not be used on the same day as Suppress. And Suppress is, rather than giving in to your hunger for spirits, you opt to suppress it, restoring a small quantity of energy to your spirit energy bar and reducing the craving. Perform this action in the presence of spirits, being a superior act of willpower, grants a small bonus to your spirit energy based upon the number of spirits present. This ability may not be used on the same day as any other Devour-based ability. Devour Spirit, it's not really mentioned here, but what it does is it creates spirit essences. Not only that, specialty creatures can create specialty essences. That's something of note. So it can give you access to abilities or enchantment options that you can never in any way get access to through other means. At the same time, a normal enemy will produce a spirit essence of some type. Normal spirit essence, though a specialty creature will produce something like Oku's essence. And I think sometimes it's let's say you have a tough fight. You have multiple enemies of specialty type there. A challenge could be, for example, that each one of those enemies gives you a specialty or essence if you devour them this way. Kill them with the devour. And the game might have a system where even a single one of those can produce something useful. But the more you can get the same type, the more powerful one artifact can you get. And if you manage to get all of them, you can create something truly magnificent. And in a fight against the top opponents, that is not an easy thing to achieve. But it's especially with these, it's actually very hard. They would accidentally kill them. Would have to go into puppet mode. There are certain abilities that would help. They do percentage damage to health, not specific amount of damage. Mold Spirit. This passive ability allows you to craft from recipes that use volatile and brilliant spirit essences. And that's it. You don't actually really use it, I suppose. How do we use this? We need to Shining Spirit Core. Infused with spirit energy, the blackened spirit core you pull from the golem has regenerated and will now serve as a suitable power source for the golem. Place the shining spirit core back within the golem to reanimate it. Okay, at least I understand how this thing works now. Place the shining spirit core inside the golem. You grasp the shining spirit core tightly and plunge it deep into the golem's belly. When your arm is elbow deep, you release the tiny core, withdrawing your hand. And the golem stirs. Visitors still wait at the first door. Who are you, golem, and what is your purpose? I am the keeper of doors. I maintain the seals and wards, and I open them upon command. Where do these doors lead? The first door, incoming visitors. The second door, containment. The third door, disposal. The fourth door, outgoing. Where does the fourth door lead? The fourth door is malleable. It leads to many places, but only to those places which it knows. So it's a quick travel system. What will happen if I open the third door? Incineration of all objects in the doorway. That door is a conduit to fire. Judging from the energies it's emitting, it's a link to the elemental plane of fire. It's a rather impressive act of magical prowess to open and maintain such a link. It has been some time since the third door was opened. Stability of the conduit is uncertain. So don't open that. So the second door leads to a storage room or a prison. The door leads to a no place, separate, silent. Is there anything inside? Yes. I'm uncertain of its nature. Clanking, squeaking. Sounds of metal on metal, but voiceless. And you say there are visitors at the first door? They are the couriers. They have been waiting for some time. What couriers? The couriers who brought you here from across the world. Was I conscious? No, your voice made no words, only mutterings and moans. What kind of creatures are they? Unknown. They are voices, hissing, whining, lattering. The golem can only see the portals that it's assigned to maintain. It was made to be blind to all other distractions. Its hearing, however, was left intact so it can receive spoken orders. All creatures are voices, commands to be obeyed or ignored, nothing more. Open the first door. I'd like to meet these couriers. The seals are withdrawn. The way is open. Wabi, Seneb, and Keth. You! We're trapped, my brothers. Snared. Please, we did as we were told. We thought you were dead. You are the creatures that carried me here from the Vale of Murderlane. Forgive us, good master. We were poor slaves, shackled and bound to our white lady's will. We crept across the world, tracked the scent of your blade, watched you from the shadows, your keep, through your war, and in the umbral dark of Murderlane. Our eyes were never far. If all you did was watch, then how did I get here? Our white lady told us to wait, to bide our time until... We are sorry, good master. When the rock smashed your bones, we saved you from death. Had we not borne you away to Liana and her red twin, you would have ended like your comrades. Her minions, more like. They followed her blindly to their deaths like chattel, like willing slaves. I do not pity them. Then my companions are dead. Yes, dead. By now they must be. No, only 2 were dead, perhaps 3. The dwarf was alive, don't you remember, my brothers? He chased us, cursed us, but we were 3 and he was 1. Yes, I distracted the dwarf, and he gave chase. While your body was unguarded, my brothers swooped down and bore you away. Did you see any... Okay. The dead, who were they? One in robes, a shaper of arcane magic, with echoes of power draining from the corpse, but smashed beyond recognition, a smear of blood and bone in tattered rags. And two others, good master, but we could not see if they were slain by the falling rocks or by your hand, in the sanctum of shadow. Those are only the corpses we saw. Perhaps there were others, alive or dead, hidden beneath those piled stone. Our eyes saw only you. And when you brought me here, what happened then? Liena took the silver blade from your hand and the silver shard from your chest, and she told us to bring you to the barrow to lay you in that chamber. We dared not tarry in the cavern of runes, good master. We feared what lay within, feared it even more than our white lady and her red twin together. The cavern of runes, the place where I awoke. What was inside? Ancient, empty, hungering. We know not what it was. It reached out for us, but it did not want us. It wanted you. The two ladies must have known that we would be untouched. They chose their careers well. Our nature was well known to them, wasn't it, brothers? Your nature? You look like gargoyles to me. We were not always such, good master. We went to the Red Lady in good faith long ago. In those days, we wore red robes too. Faces we had, and freedom too. Those she took to save our lives, to keep us from the horrors sent to hunt us down. A bargain struck, life and new faces for servitude. Why were you being hunted? For the crime of choosing the wrong teacher, for choosing the wrong side, in a war we never realized was being fought. Never realized, good master, not until the war was already lost. Silence, brother, our tale is not for trade. Besides, this one wants to know our mistress's plans for her, but we were never privy to their schemes. But we know when those schemes took root, don't we, brothers? We know who planted the seed in their minds, and we will tell you if you let us leave in peace. I don't see why I want to pick a fight with them. Still, I might as well lie. Very well, tell me the truth and I'll let you go free. It was the 9 hags, the slumbering coven. Liena visited them, together with her red twin. They heard the hags' counsel, and they returned with plans. Slumbering coven? That circle of hags is involved? Yes, the coven. They lair to the east, along the shores of Lake Mulsandir, in the depths of the city, half submerged beneath the waters. A city beneath the waves? Curious. I have dreamed of such a place. I should like to accompany you to this city, Lilina, if you will have me. This lank-haired shaman is a hag spawn, yes? There are many of his kind in the sunken city, but few as pretty as him. And what exactly did the coven tell your mistress? We don't know, good master. Now let us go like you swore. Oh, after a century as her slaves, Diana owes us. We want to tear her things and break her shiny masks. Yes, and give us Liena's corpse. Let us ransom her body to her red twin, my brothers, for an end to our servitude. Okay. I know where your mistress kept her treasure. Behind the third door over there. Truly, come brothers. She owes all of her treasures and more. Open the portal for us, good master. We will wait like good thralls, grateful thralls, yes? Yep, disposal. Let them walk there first. Look like horned devils to me. I suppose they're just gargoyles. Open the third door. The seals are withdrawn. The way is open. Ah, what a shame. What a shame. I'm certainly not gonna let them wreck the place. Now, open door number 2. Effective Imascaran Golem. Yeah, whatever. Crap. It's a spell immunity, magic immunity. Yeah, did not really count for that. Also, we don't have any conjuration spells, so fuck. Don't have anything we can do with this in a situation like this. But we do have a couple of items that allow us to summon creatures. They're fairly weak.
Danger approaches. Be on your guard.
I really need to start using those dragon slippers. Constant knockdowns otherwise. Doesn't matter if they do damage or not, it's an instant interruption. I give them someone else. Maybe. Shocking Golem Arms. Enchantment bonus +3, damage bonus 3d6 electrical. It's not an item we can use. These gauntlets appear relatively ordinary, but when stricken with enough force, an electrical impulse is discharged, shocking anything they make contact with. A golem using these as its arms would be incredibly dangerous and should be in no way be considered a bathtub toy. Okay. What's the fourth door? We can go to the Barrow of Bear God or nowhere else. Okay. Not bad. Shadow Theater door. This wasn't open before. I don't think this allows us to go anywhere new, really. Maybe. Yeah, there are other ways to gain access here. Wonder what's interesting in this place. Can't leave the city, naturally. I think we're just gonna leave the shadow lane. Yeah, we certainly have reasons to come back here, no doubt about it. Death's Handmaiden. Plus 4 keen vampiric regeneration. Elemental damage is more important. But I'm more interested in trying to get additional quests. I also need to rest. Maybe not immediately, but soon. What is that? Shadow spiders. Of course there are shadow spiders. I'll leave things here. We need to explore around the town, see what things have opened up for us. Probably need to talk to people, as in our companions at least. If we go to the Shadow Realm, I want to have a spell selection that's more fitting to going there. I don't think Domination or Hold monster spells serve any real purpose. They're mostly undead opponents there. So, now that we still have a fairly full spell selection and spell selection focused on killing or handling living opponents, I'd like to go through the city, see where we can go, so we can handle those minor things. Otherwise it's just a waste of a spirit essence. I'm very keen on trying to use the spirit devouring ability on weakened opponents. However, since there is a limit to how it's sensible, we might want to practice some restrictions there. Not just blindly try to devour as much as we can, because we can only do it 10 times per day, really, or rest period. So trying to pick opponents that might be useful. Still, Brilliant Spirit Essence was immediately useful, so there's probably further use for them. But I'd like to have these Devour Spirit options, at least have quite a few of them ready in case we do any kind of specialty opponents. I want those Spirit Essences if I can get them. At the same time, I'm not super attached to them, so if things go badly for us, I think we can just basically move on instead of get stuck on some kind of retries on there. Wisdom of Imithia Bard. This book contains the collected sayings and stories of Revered Rashemi Witch, who seems to have died over a century ago. Most of these writings are religious in nature, some are folk tales, and a few seem to be remedies for various rashes and wars. One page has been dog-eared, however, and a brief passage is entitled "Of the Ravenous Boar." So the Imith Yabad. In my youth, the spirit-eater curse was said to be rampant in the woodlands of the north. I was sent from Erling with 3 of my Hathran sisters to seek the truth of these rumors. Outside the great forest we came upon the fleeing mass of simple folk, who spoke fearfully of a foul cult, men and women who had begun to worship the spirit-eater as a god, who passed its power amongst themselves, and went into the deep forest to feed. Retracing the villagers' steps, we soon came upon an encampment of these wicked folk, they taking them by surprise and slaying many. Only 4 managed to escape us, fleeing into the deep forest. One of these bore the dark hunger of a spirit-eater, and she devoured 2 of my sisters before she made her escape. My remaining sisters and I dared not follow. But we learned much from the remains of their camp. These folk were unlike others afflicted by the curse. Indeed, they referred to their dark hunger as a gift, and we discovered that many of those we had taken for Rashemi were shape-shifted Uthrald. The Uthraki worshipped the one who possessed the gift, and had learned much lore of the Spirit-Eater to pass on to others who bore the hunger and revelled in it as they did. So more options. At least some people learn to live with it, but at the same time, um, passing it along to others seems to be it in no way can be random, but and it seems to be contained within a single person at a time. So it's not some kind of a random magical force or a thing. It's a very specific thing that seems to require a host that it consumes over time. But at the same time, while it is in a host, the host can tap into certain special abilities. But at this point, I'm not willing to. I certainly acknowledge the danger of it. So it's a situation that is unacceptable. We need to either gain control over it or we need to get rid of it. At the same time, I'm not willing to throw away the potential power it might provide for us. It allows us to do things that we couldn't otherwise. And clearly there are signs that not everyone treats it as a monster. Maybe they know something that we don't. I would very much like to learn what that something is.